And so the chaos begins. Hands down, this has to be the best episode that has premiered thus far for this series. The tone, the pacing, the music all aligned to bring together the most thrilling and thought-provoking episode in a sci-fi series I feel like I've seen in a long, long time. There were so many plot points happening in just this, 45, 50 minutes that I feel like I'm going to have to separate them out as far as the notes and thoughts I want to give on what is happening on alien Earth as of right now. Let's begin with the most obvious plot point that's happening right now, and that's with Wendy, or Marcy if you ask her brother. I didn't notice until this exact episode, as this character is unfolding with their newfound powers and her ability to stand up for herself and to also have this very sensitive, nurturing side, how much she recalls the character of Ripley to my mind. In addition to, this actor has a very striking resemblance to Sigorney Weaver. They both have that classic Greco-Roman heroine look to them. They are both stoic and beautiful. And I'm absolutely loving Wendy's pixie bob just the same way that I loved Sigourney Weaver's curly shag from way back in the 70s. There's other mannerisms about these two characters that kind of parallel. I will say the difference between the two is that Sigourney Weaver's character of Ripley was not meant to be seen as the primary character when we first watched the original Aliens. Obviously, in this particular series of events, the new Ripley, or Wendy, is our primary protagonist. She is a child, but she is not gullible. She is willing to make a stand for the people that she loves and the things that she finds important. She's very confident in herself and in her abilities. She wants to make a difference with this newfound consciousness that she has been given. As we close out the episode, her connection to the xenomorphs is very reminiscent to Ripley in Alien Resurrection. I just want to add a totally unrelated side note that I am having the greatest cup of coffee ever while I am deep diving into thinking about this amazing unfolding of Alien Earth. If you're wondering, as I was, how many episodes are going to be in this particular season, there are going to be 8. Even before it caps out, I'm hoping that they extend this to a season 2 because I love a good sci-fi thriller. Again, it has a little bit of gore. I'm not crazy about that part, but I'm willing to overlook it because this plot is getting deep. So let's go into the third major plot point that I wanted to point out, and that is Paradise Lost. The Prodigy has everyone kind of camped out and embedded on this isolated island in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to name it Neverland since he is obviously obsessed with Peter Pan, Wendy, and all of the Lost Boys, and obviously he himself is Peter Pan. So let's dive into how we can see how darkness is starting to infiltrate what is supposed to be a community of science and technological advances, and how even places that don't technically believe in, morality or immorality because it's supposed to be strictly science, somehow get infiltrated by the dark corners of the universe. We'll start with how Singh is being blackmailed into somehow smuggling an alien egg or embryo off of the island, and now he's willing to sacrifice Wendy, Marcy's brother, to save his own family, who are now highly aware that he is alive. Let's also jump over to how the engineer and the psychologist are married. Whoa, did not see that coming. And they have a very brief conversation about something that I brought up a while ago in my first review, is that are these really children or are these AIs imitating children? And then we've got a conundrum here. The engineer says at best we have some AIs that are imitating children. At worst, there's 6 children that are no longer alive. And the psychologist says we are not going to talk about that, which again brings back to the question, what exactly did they do during this consciousness transfer? And of course, we have the one synth who says that she's pregnant and going totally ballistic on the psychologist when she tries to counter it and deflect back to how one of the alien species tried to attack her in the lab. Paradise is falling apart quickly and quietly. Welcome back. Let's jump right into the next plot point that I want to get to, which is timeline. But before I talk about that, let me give you a fun fact. Did you know that Alien and Blade Runner exist in the same universe, and they are collected by the Weyland-Yutani corporations? So while we are living in Prodigy's part of the world, Weyland-Yutani is a very active part of that world as well, and it connects those 2 universes together. That being said, when in the world are we on this alien timeline? This is what I mean when I say, where in the world are we on the alien universe timeline? If we take now 2025 as our time mark, point 0, we know that Blade Runner happens at least 2 generations from now. Sims are walking the world. I believe at that point they're called replicants. If we also allow Prometheus into the chat, which is like a prequel to the Alien series that we originally knew, that is still happening again a few generations from now. We know that space travel is possible, but in both of those 2 movies and timelines, as far as we know, we have not yet been introduced to the alien species. That kind of happens or preludes in Prometheus, doesn't happen at all in Blade Runner. But again, synth replicants technology is available and freely active in the world. Now we jump forward to Alien and the sequel Aliens. Again, this is supposed to be a brand new species that has been introduced to the narrative, and as well as with all the sequels. As far as we know, this is the first time that humanity is encountering this particular hostile alien species. And the whole hope and goal from Alien to Aliens to all the sequels is that we don't want these aliens to be running amok on Earth. We're trying to do everything we can to keep that from happening. If we flash back to Aliens Earth, again, we have synths, we have space travel is possible, but at the same time, it seems like no one has encountered this alien species yet. Which makes me wonder, are all of these stories happening all at the exact same time and are parallel to each other? Meaning, are all of these ships, Ripley's ship, the Covenant, the Romulus, this new Yutani ship, were they all floating in space at the same time, and one of them so happened to make it back while the others are trying to fight to keep this invasive species from reaching Earth, and now all of these plots are carrying out at the same time?